we kind of revised the process. And what came out of it is what I'm about to show you. There's going to be a class that all the referees are assigned to. And it's just planning, coaching, and reflection. And there's only going to be a couple of things in this class. And it's all about your personal development as a referee. So when the selection committee, when they go out and we start the referee development committee, we're going to assign referees to coaches, okay? And when we assign that, there's an immediate system. So we'll assign them. You're going to receive an email. It's basically going to say, this is the game that you're reffing. This is your coach. It then becomes incumbent on the referee to start developing his own goals and objectives. Okay, so that's what I'm going to show you, is that whole system. This is the form that you're going to receive. Okay, it's a SMART goal planning tool, and it's just a Google form that is going to initiate this whole process. So I'm going to kind of walk through this. You're going to receive this in an email, and it's going to say, hey, you need to fill this out by Wednesday, because the referee coach, as soon as you click submit, the referee coach is going to receive this information into a workable document that he's going to then provide input as to what he's looking at. So that's what I'm about to show you. So the referee name is test. It's my email. Everything is required here, the referee email. So it's a drop-down menu, and it's going to go through your pelicanref.com account. Okay, so everyone is in here, and I'll keep adding to this as we develop new referees. Right now, this is only for NCRRS. It's not for anybody else, but these are all of the referee emails that are in there. You're going to then require the referee coach's email. We have all of the referee coaches that are in here. I might need to add a couple more, but you need to make sure that you assign the correct coach, because when you click submit, they're going to get this immediately. Click continue. All right. Now, the way we broke this down is that we wanted to assign it by the competencies. And the competencies are what we expect C1s to be able to do. You get a choice of 3 competencies. That's it. Okay? The competencies are related to continuity, set piece, and management. You can choose to do 1 competency, or you can choose to do 2 or 3, but you can do no more. So we want to really limit what you're focusing on. So let's say my competency that I want to work on is arrived at tackle early. Okay. These are all of the choices that you have for continuity competency. Now, after you pick your continuity competency or whatever competency, if it's not in continuity, if you would rather just move on, you have that option. These are not prioritized. So you have your set piece competencies, and finally you have your management competencies. And you can go back and forth on this depending on what you want to work on. You only get 3 choices. You can have you can have a minimum of 1 or a maximum of 1. Okay, but you have to have at least 1. Personally, I would prefer that you just have 1 competency, okay, and really focus on that one thing. But if you want to choose set piece and management, that's your choice. So I'm going to choose this continuity competency of arriving at tackle early, and then I'm going to drill it down. You'll see some questions. How can you break down the competency to an even smaller element? Example, if my focus is...
that clear that you can choose 1 or 3?
What do you mean?
Well, you were saying you can choose 1, 2, or 3, right?
Yes.
I'm not sure it was that clear that you could. It looks like you could take. You're supposed to be taking 1 of each of the 3 areas. That's what it looked like to me.
You can, or you can.
No, but I mean, I didn't see that it was.
You don't have to.
I understand that, but I'm just saying it's not that clear to me just looking at this.
It should be specified.
That
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. It just.
That's fine. I can add that. Yep. Yeah.
Because it looks like you're supposed to choose 1 of each one of those areas. No. That's all.
Okay, and I'll add that to it. Thank you. Drill down. So if my give me an example of something that I could drill down arriving tackle early to an even smaller element. That's a different skill. Anticipating skill. We're talking just about arriving at the tackle early. What can I drill that down to even more?
And you're eliminating anticipation.
What's that?
And you're eliminating anticipation. Is that you saying that's a different skill?
What?
Out of the way for arriving players.
I don't think, I think he's got a point, because that's one of the things that I would think would be a drill down.
Is arriving, okay.
No. And anticipating, being able to anticipate where play is going to go from the set piece that you're at.
Okay. What would you say?
And anticipate flow of play in next breakdown.
Like the direction of the ball, or?
Yeah.
Knowing where that tackle is going to be, is that what you're saying?
Where the next breakdown will be.
Okay.
Yeah. You're either anticipating or reacting. And if you're reacting, the drill down is going to be faster.
Be the third person there. That's always been the kind of the
Specify a particular range, within 5 meters.
Okay. What's the trigger going to be? Now, when we talk about trigger, it's something that I could say, something that I can do, something that I can articulate, maybe not necessarily communicate, but something that I can articulate to myself and, more importantly, to my coach. So how can what is something that I can do to recognize a trigger that I am the third person there?
Recognize that you're the third person?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, when a ruck is cold, you can start moving away from it. So
Well, hang on, we're talking about the ruck.
Yeah.
Our major target is tackle.
Yeah, but that's part of the anticipation. What you're saying is like, okay, that ruck is set, it's clearly one. I think I think he's coming this way.
This way.
So I'm going to come out here already in anticipation, but that's where the tackle is.
So what you're talking about is recognizing when a tackle has been won, when it's been conceded. And I think Matt Eason does a really good phrase of saying hot and cold.
I was going to say.
So
You're at the ruck. The ball's been still being contested. It's hot.
Yeah.
When you see that it's no longer contested, one team has won it and is winning it, say cold, and that's when you start moving, because you know they're going to be having it out. So that's your trigger.
I'm going to say hot or cold and move away accordingly. Does that make sense? So if that's my target, I'm gonna say hot. And lets me know that it's hot. I need to stay there, or I'm gonna say cold. That's my trigger to say I'm gonna move away. The trigger is gonna be what you deem it to be, and it's not necessarily communication to the teams. It might very well be, okay, but it's something that you can recognize. Personally, when I had some triggers for management that worked very effectively for me. When I felt like my feet always had to be moving, and I felt that if my feet were stuck, it means that I wasn't involved in the play. So I would have my ARs typically say, "Hey, your feet are stationary," or "My feet aren't moving; they're stuck." So that was my trigger, and I would have my ARs do that. Okay. Other things that you can do for management stuff, I used to wear an Armstrong bracelet, and whenever I noticed myself getting angry or upset, I'd start snapping that, and that would be my trigger to calm back down, to come back into a place where I can manage it. And triggers are any number of things, but it's for you to focus on an element. It's for you to develop it, and we really want to focus on triggers for your own personal development. Outcome. What's it going to look like? What will success look like from the player's perspective? it may be, there's a couple things that could be produced by that. You're going to have less arguments from teams. And we want you to kind of look into the future when you're talking about outcomes. And I specifically want to mention players, not necessarily referees. What's it going to look like from players? Because that's who we're managing this game for. Okay, it's not about the referee. It's about what the players are seeing. The players tell you a lot about how the game is going. Oftentimes we don't listen, but they do. They will tell you if you're in control. The verbiage is going to be less. You're going to see shoulders that are not squared up at you and angry. There's lots of telltale signs of this. But you're going to have less arguments. That might be one of the outcomes. And you can identify your own outcomes. The point of this is that when the coach sees this information, he's going to use that information. This was an outcome. You said that there'd be less arguments. By the way, there was a lot of arguments going on, so maybe this didn't work for you. Because the coach has to have something to measure you by. That's the outcome. Significance of this competency in relation to my improvement as a referee, I think it's fairly important. I'm going to continue. I'm only going to focus on one for expediency purposes. And then I'm going to click submit. Great. That's been sent to you and to the coach. Now let me see. Hopefully this is in my inbox. Okay. All right, so this is what you're going to get. You're receiving this automated email as a test. Just completed a pre-match coaching report. Test is my name that I used. It would have your name there. Click on the link to review. Now, the coach, the referee has this, okay? This is what it's going to be called. It's a pre-match report, my name, my email, excuse me, and the date it was submitted. You're going to edit this. You're going to continue to work on this for your pre-match stuff because there's some things in here that need to happen. This is what your SMART goals look like. Competency, arrived at the tackle early. How can you break the competency to an even smaller element? Okay. This is what your referee coach is going to see. This is an editable document, so if you don't like the verbiage, you can change it. What will success look like? Now, we want you to kind of anticipate some things that are happening. Pre-match. This is a pre-match form. Look into the future. What do you know about these teams? Give that information down. It's your pre-match planning. Okay? If you don't know anything about the teams, that's okay. You can get some feedback from ARs, from local referees in the area that have knowledge of that. How are you going to use this knowledge to improve the game? What stressors are you currently having? I want you to focus on those stressors. We all have crappy weeks. You have to recognize that this isn't what you're dealing with work is going to affect your game. Recognize that and take steps to have those issues not avoided, that don't affect it. So recognize, I'm having this problem. Your coach might see this and give you some insights. Okay? This is your coach for the day. He's going to see this information. How are you limiting the impact that the stressors are having? All right. And that's it. Now, this is what the coaching, so that's going to be shared with the referee as well, or the coach. This is the tool that the referee coach is going to use. You can choose to use it. You can choose not to. Every referee coach has their own way of documenting things. Again, I just put this from the IRB, the World Rugby match form, and you can mark in these. It cannot. When the referee coach is hopefully going to bring this. He's going to bring some way to evaluate your game. All right. So he's going to track all this information down. Again, he doesn't have to use this form. He could use his own form. That's as a referee, that is your obligation. Referee coach is going to use a tool that's similar. He's going to take some of this information that you've provided, and let me go here. Sorry, I gotta find it. Where is it? This is the coaching tool that the coach is going to use. You won't, the referee won't have access to this. He's going to fill in this information. And the coach has kind of already went over this. He's going to give you some background information about the match itself. Fills in the information, the Pelican, the email of the referee. He's going to do the referee coach's email, all of that information. He's going to take your goals and he's going to copy them into there. He's going to then track the evidence. He's going to provide some evidence that says what evidence did you collect that demonstrates success or failure. He's going to evaluate whether or not your goal has been met based on the criteria that you established. You as a referee are going to get this into a coaching report. You have one more thing as a referee to do, and that's to do a post-match. There's a post-match evaluation that you personally will have to do. And me as the referee manager, I'm going to ensure that that's done, because that post-match is going to establish your next goals moving forward. And so there's this continuity of coaching, feedback, reevaluation, coaching, feedback, reevaluation that's going to happen. Questions on that?
Quick question, Paul.
Yeah.
I think on the last page it says something about team coach.
Mm-hmm.
Is the ref coach or the ref supposed to go
No,
talk to
no.
the team?
For the coach, for the ref, sometimes the referee coach wants to provide some feedback on what the coaches are feeling. Okay, that's their choice. If I'm watching your game and I ask the coaches, what did you think about LV's performance? They're going to tell me some of that. I might choose to share that. I might not. Okay.
That happens quite a bit.
Yeah. And there's some coaches that we won't take any feedback from at all. There's some coaches that frankly give very good feedback. One of my goals is I want to create some feedback form from the coaches at every match.
The normal referee doing this week in and week out, or
So
once a month?
the goal would be to have everybody coached twice a year. Last year we had 52 coaching reports that were submitted, 52 opportunities to do that. We now have 15, 16 more coaches, or excuse me, we now have 18 coaches. The goal would be, two is a pretty easy number to work on, considering the number of coaches that we have. Any other questions, insights, bugs that you foresee?
Well, it does seem to be more of a focused process than the coaching reports that it passed, and so I like that. But where you go off track a little bit. So the referee wants to speak about the tackle. You want to speak about the tackle, but you also want to speak about communication and positioning. And
there's a fine line between, we really want to try to focus on what the referee wants to develop. There is a space in that form for you to report on other issues.
okay.
But here's the problem that I've seen kind of reviewing some of the coaching reports. Referee decides, I want to work on tackle, and the whole coaching report is on scrum. That doesn't align with what the coach referee feels that they need to be working on. Now, if there's safety issues, absolutely, you need to address those. And as an observer, that's your responsibility. Yes?
Well, what I often do is I just set it separate.
Yeah. So there's got to be a focus on what that referee is working on, because that's important to the referee at the time. We have to give validity to that desire. Now, if it's too far out from that realm, say I want to work on cleaner rucks, but my tackles are crap. Okay, you want to work on ruck, and as a coach, you're going to say you need to readdress your objectives, and I'm going to take a look at those first. There's a piece that every referee is going to have to do prior to getting a coaching report, and that's to get kind of a summary of where they are as their own personal development right now. And I'm going to be collecting that stuff in December. Every referee is going to be asked to fill out where they feel they are right now. And then I'm going to have that communication with the referee. Yeah.
So I see here that the continuity question, you can skip this if there's no further need to address the goal. So there's some judgment from the coach
Yes.
that it's been achieved.
Correct.
There's also something on here, but these are things I did see that you might work on next.
Yes. So let's see, set piece referee comments, management score, management question. We go to continue. Other competencies needing attention. There's a whole section on there for other competencies. So if you as a coach, if you recognize that this goal with tackle is okay, but there is a real need for these, you have the opportunity to provide that feedback, and that information will be given to the referee. Because that's a valid argument. You're here, you believe you're here, but you're not. You're really here, and you have to be able to state that. What we're asking you to do is to provide evidence of that. This is what I saw during the course of the game.
Well, if you're working with a new C3,
Yep.
That person may have problems stating where he needs work. He could say, scrum, line out, are the signals, but it may be another list entirely. But if you've got room on that form to talk about stuff aside from what is listed,
Yeah.
then that works well.
Now, one of the things that we'd like every referee to go away with is some questions for further development. And those questions are going to be, your issue was on arriving at tackle early. Maybe a question is, how can you improve your positioning for that anticipation piece? Okay. Yeah, you had a question?
Now, just a comment up there where you have set piece competencies requiring attention.
Mhm.
Identify a set piece competency, not a continuity competency.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Right here. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, there's lots of errors. I gotta.
That's what I'm.
I gotta fire my.
If you send that to your person.
Yeah, I gotta my wordsmither, exactly. Any other comments? Huh? No, I'm not that hard off.
I like it.
That's good.
So for the coaches, okay, I've only got 2 feedbacks so far. David has offered himself on the butcher block to use a video that we took of his match in December or of April. So what we want from you is, from the coaches in particular, I need to collect. We want to try to align so that we're seeing the same things. He completed this. All of the coaches have it. There is in the coaching class. All of the coaches have a link to it, so you should be getting those and finishing them. Okay. Some of the people are in different stages of doing it, but we really need to get everybody on the same page for coaching.
It's been a tough month.
I know it is. It's not going to get any easier.
I need an extension.
There's no extensions. Just get it done when you can. I was hoping to get it done so that we could share it out, but that's it is what it is. Other comments?
Will this be available to us even if we don't have a coach that week?
Yeah. Yes, for your own personal stuff. Mm-hmm. All right, it's 11:05. I think we're done. If that's it. Thank you very much.
Well,
Yeah.
I was gonna-
Oh, sorry.
Just
James.
very quickly, about the Hail Pelicans newsletter. We use the assigner, the assigner, app, or it's a program that we use for the assignments and the game reports on it. Just another quick reminder, if you're not the referee who's assigned to that match, please do not fill out a report, because it starts clogging things up, and you'll get an evaluation